Coach, you got to make 3 changes to your roster. How do you feel about the players coming in here to help you make a difference?
We're a team. Guys, it's hard. We're in a business that's a team-oriented business, and yet everybody wants an opportunity. Everybody wants to play, but when your number's called, go out and do the job.
What are you expecting from a winless, maybe surprisingly winless Bombers team coming into?
We don't even know. We don't even care because we're trying to get wins. We only have 1 win. I mean, we're here to play football. For us, it was just kind of weird because a bye week in week 3, it feels like you're almost on a restart. It's almost like you played a couple games and then you're not around anymore. And so it's almost like, feels like an opening day, like an opening game for us. We got to get back, and I do feel like the guys are ready to play and excited, but hopefully we're locked in and executing and doing a good job.
Would you like to have this bye week maybe a little later to start the season?
I mean, I would, but I don't know. That just, you work all off season. You got a lot of ideas. You want games, and especially when you lose going into a bye, I don't think that's ideal as well. It is what it is. Schedule. At the end of the year, you won't even think about it. You won't. It's just when you're in the middle of it, that's when you start thinking about it a little bit more. And you're like, I wish we kind of could get a few of the things we did poorly fixed quicker, so you don't have to wait all bye week on that. Or if you do win, you always like to play right away the next week because you have momentum. So those are the things. We'll have 2 more. Everybody has 3 byes, and they fit for your certain teams and some don't. Sometimes you're injured and you really want them. We're fairly healthy. We weren't able to keep our guys. They're close, but they're not able to play this game. But it's just part of the schedule, part of what the CFL is.
Do you prefer to play at home coming out of the bye?
Don't even think about it. So yeah, it's just since you have 3, it's like not like the NFL where you have like 1. So you look really close. Okay, when is that bye? Where are we at? What can we do? The one thing when you have an early bye, there's no like real self-scout. There's no analyzing your tendencies and trying to see where you're at because you've only played 2 games, and so you haven't really been able to, I guess, establish tendencies or necessarily see some things you have to fix. So it is what it is. We're ready to go. There's no excuse for not being fresh, so guys are ready to play.
Is it kind of like facing, like the Bombers obviously haven't gotten off to the start they want, like do you still kind of view them as that group that has had a lot of success? Like how do you approach a team that maybe has had a lot of success?
Listen, I just think anyone can beat us. Anybody can beat, and we can beat anybody. It's weird. The CFL is very balanced, and I do think they've had a good run, and they have a lot of good players. They're well coached, but the focus has to be on the Calgary Stampeders. We really do. It's week 3. No matter who we can play, I think we can beat them, and I do think any team in our league can beat us if we're not doing what we're supposed to do and playing winning football. So it's really not as much about the opponent. We know we got to beat the teams in the West, though. That's true. Beat the teams in the West, you'll make the playoffs, and you'll hopefully have success. Obviously, Winnipeg's been doing that for years. That's the formula, and we have to do it.
You mentioned you're healthy now, but you guys dealt with obviously your fair share and more of injuries last year. That's what the Bombers are going through this year. What are the challenges when you have so many guys dropping?
I mean, the big thing is you don't want to lose guys for the year. I mean, we had some issues in camp, so I'm not saying we're clean, but injuries will always happen. And, if you think about it and you worry about it, you're probably not going to have any success. So, but the hard one is when you lose guys, for the entire season, then you start wondering, do I have the manpower to keep, not only play the backup, then I need a new backup. So it is what it is. Injuries are going to happen. We play a rough sport. I saw some more last night in the game. It's unfortunate. It's part of what we do in our business. And as coaches, it's a little callous, but it is next man up. You got to play and play well, and we expect you to play well and take advantage of your opportunity.
What are the Bombers
would be key for your team tomorrow?
What will be key? I think most of the time it's the easiest stat in the world: turnovers. I think it's the teams that win that turnover battle, and then the second thing for me would be control line of scrimmage, and that can be a twofold offense defense, but. Just seems like every year, if you just look at it and you have good ball security and you do the right things with the football, you're not throwing it up into a crowd, and then you're finding ways to get hands on the balls on the defense, interceptions, fumbles, big plays on special teams. And at the end of the day, if you didn't know any other stat, if you just looked at that turnover margin, a lot of times you know who won the game. And certainly you can talk about it a lot, you can tell them to do this, do that, but it isn't that easy. Things happen in football, and you got to make sure, though, that you're hopefully taking care of your details and you're doing the right things.
Do you think DeMario might be a bit of not a secret weapon, but might be a help back there in the secondary?
Well, I mean, he knows him. Obviously, some different receivers on Winnipeg this year, so some new guys coming in as well. So maybe he doesn't have as much familiarity with those people. They know DeMario as well, though, so he's playing in a different scheme, different system than Winnipeg does. I think he's excited, but he's not overzealous. He's ready to play, but he's ready to play every game. I do think he certainly, every time you play your former team the first time, yeah, the blood flows a little more, and I think you got to understand, you got to control that and just play your game.
What has he brought to this team?
Well, he's a winner. I think he's a good ball hawk. He's always, certain DBs, every DB is going to get beat. That's just the way it is. But when you get your hands on the ball and it's an interception versus a knockdown, those are the plays, I think, that kind of change you from a good player to an all-star caliber guy, and that's what he does. I mean, I don't know his entire story. I'm pretty sure he was a receiver. He played some offense. You can tell he tracks the ball really well, and I think he has great energy too. You can tell he's a family guy. Right when I met him, I talked to his wife for that, and just he's got the kids, and he plays for more than himself. Those are things that you like, and that's why we signed him.
You often want players to play within the system. The thing about DeMario is he likes to jump. We called him opportunistic. He's the kind of guy who will go on his own, and when it's working, it's working. When it's not so much. Have you had conversations with him, watching over the tape about, kind of his approach?
Well, here's the thing. You don't. Every good DB guesses, but you can only guess so often. So you have to do the studying, and you have to know the situation, and understanding if you guess wrong, they get a completion, on to the next play. So, but I do believe most good DBs, if not all, are reading route concepts, are seeing stems, are understanding down and distances, are know how the opposing team coach calls a game, and if the coaches are doing a good job, they should also know that. And you're gonna give up plays, but it's important to stay within the scheme. You're right, stay within the call. But I have no problem trying to make a play. I play to make a play. I'm never gonna say, I'm playing to not get beat. I think that's with a loser mentality. We've got to play to make the play.
How do you tighten up the run defense with a guy like Brady coming in hungry to kind of show his stuff this season?
Yeah, I mean, we got to just go as a group of 12. We've got to, effort's one thing. We're going to have great effort. We've done that. We just got to make sure that, we win our one-on-one and don't let one man block you. And like you said, try to find the football. That's the key. Is try to make sure that at times defensively, you're out tackling the man, but tackle the ball and see if we can get it out.
You mentioned 7-day week. Sorry, just mentioned the last one for you. You mentioned a 7-day week as an ideal week, and I know Carl Bethel Thompson was pretty vocal this past week about the 5-day weeks at Edmonton and just the fluctuative schedule. I'm just curious, David, what's your? I mean, obviously you'd like 7 days every week.
Yeah.
What's your take on the scheduling?
It's the same as it's been every year, guys. It's what the CFL is, especially when you're trying to have 4 games: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It does clean up. The schedule cleans up later in the season. After Labor Day, you get a lot of 6, 7, and 8 day weeks. You don't want 9-day weeks either, though. Those are too long. So we play the schedule we're given. We have a chance to talk to people that can change it. But the NFL plays on 4-day weeks. Is it ideal? No. But it's just, you want revenue, you want TV money, and it's part of who we are. You schedule the game, we'll play it, and move on from there.
Just wanted to ask you about Mark and Michelle. Like, how motivated has he been this year for you?
He's just been good. He loves the game. I think he's comfortable in our system. I think the guys know that he'll lay it on the line. So, he actually hasn't finished either game this year. He's gotten hurt both games. So he was really looking like he was going to have a big game against BC, but he hasn't been able to do that. So he's got to find his groove and get through 60 and hopefully produce all 60 minutes.
Thanks.